And a very good evening, everybody. So tonight we're going to be doing a different type of video. This is how to do a COVID-19 antigen rapid test. And this, of course, is a COVID-19 take-home test, the kind you'd probably get at pharmacies, maybe from your doctor. And this is a very basic video. I'm just going to cover the basics of how to do this. And I just want to first off say that if you're not sure, then always ask a healthcare professional how to do this. Like I said, this is just a guide, a very simple guide, and nothing more, nothing less. So here in Quebec, you're going to get a box. I don't have the box anymore, but you're going to get a box of 5 tests. And you're allowed 5 tests every 30 days. And basically inside the box, you're going to have this. You're going to have 5 swabs, and this of course goes into your nose. This is the testing swab. You're going to actually have your testing device. You're going to have 5 of these. I'm going to open this up soon to show you inside. And this is basically the solution that is going to go into the vial here. And the vial is actually composed of 2 parts. You have your vial, and this here is your dropper, which attaches onto the vial, and it comes off like that. And you have your instructions as well. And of course, like I said, there's 5 of these per box, and I have a few more left. And the reason I'm doing one of these tonight is, well, I have a bit of a sore throat, so I figured why not take the time to make a video while I do it. And this is something I wanted to do for a while. I wish I had done it earlier when these first came out, so I would have shown people how to do it sooner. But there's one other thing that comes with this, and unfortunately I didn't keep it. It's the stand to keep the vial upright. And I kind of improvised. I have some tape here, a tape roll dispenser, and I'm using this to stand it up, sort of. As long as it's standing up somewhat straight, it's fine. Now I'm filming with one hand here, and I'm going to be doing the demonstration with my other hand. And I'm not actually going to show you putting this into your nose. You know, it's kind of not the funnest thing to do, and this is the most unpleasant part, but it's very simple, and once you get the hang of it, it really is not that complicated. And it's not comfortable, but it is something that obviously has to be done. And yeah, there's a sample here of how to do it. And we'll just, like I said, follow what this guide here says. So the first thing you're going to want to do is put the extraction tube, which is this here, into a stand. And once that's in the stand, you're going to want to take your liquid here, which is in this, and this is going to go directly into here, and you're going to do it by tearing the top off. So I'm just going to show you how this is done. I'm going to open this up. Okay, so I've taken the top off, and what you're going to do is you're going to take this liquid and you're going to pour it into this vial right here. And you're going to want to, like I said, I'm filming with one hand, so it's kind of tricky. You're going to want to squeeze this and it'll go inside, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's in there. Okay, so I've emptied the contents of this into here, and I'm going to put this back into my stand. And the next thing you're going to want to do is, of course, open up your swab. And any garbage or waste, I like to put it in a corner. And we're going to open this up. And when you're opening this up, make sure that you peel it here where it says peel here, obviously. And we'll take this out now and show you what it looks like. Okay, so I've removed the swab from the packaging. And this, of course, is where you're going to want to do the fun part, which is inserting the swab into the nostril parallel to the palate, not upwards. And this is if you want to do a nasal swab right into the back of the throat. And what you're going to do is you're basically going to push it in until you don't have any more resistance. And once the swab is in your nose and touching the back of your throat, first of all, you're going to want to twist it as you're going in. You want to rub and roll the swab several seconds to saturate it with basically the secretions and whatnot in the back of your throat. So we're going to do that right now. And here's the picture, and I'm going to put it in now, and then we're going to take it out and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I've taken my swab, put it into the back of my throat, and that was not a fun experience. I kind of gagged there, but usually it's easy for me, but this one was a little hard. Go figure when I'm actually doing a video on it. But anyways, got it done. I've extracted, taken, and like it said here, the swab, put it in my throat, extracted a bit of the secretions. Now what you're going to want to do, you're going to take the swab and you're going to put it into the vial that we just put the liquid into. And you're going to want to basically insert it in and mix it around. And also, there's going to be a point where you're going to squeeze the vial more towards the bottom and mix it while you're squeezing it. So I'm going to pause the video here and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so it's hard to turn around. It's hard to rotate the swab with one hand while I'm filming with the other. But the idea is you squeeze this and then you rotate the swab while you're squeezing it. And once you've done that, then you let it sit for 2 minutes into the holder, into the vial holder, which, like I said, I improvised here with a tape dispenser instead of the actual tube stand. And you're going to let it sit for 2 minutes. And once it's in there for 2 minutes, we're going to do the next step. All right, so 2 minutes have gone by. And the whole idea is you want to get the secretions that are on the swab to basically go into your liquid solution here, because the liquid solution is the important thing here. That's what's going to go into the testing unit right here, which I'm going to open up next. So basically that liquid right now is pretty saturated with any secretions from the throat. Next, we're going to open our actual testing mechanism here. Okay, so I've opened up the testing mechanism and, oh, here it is right here. This is just some kind of preservative. We'll put this in our garbage corner. And this is where you're going to find out whether you're positive or negative. And I'm going to show you how we get to this, from this to this now. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to take, if you remember earlier, we took this piece off of the vial. And the next step is to remove the swab from the vial. But the way we do this is while you're taking the swab out, you're going to want to squeeze the sides so that, you know, because the swab is kind of like a sponge and it has all those secretions in it, and you want to get all that moisture to fall into the rest of this liquid here. And yeah, so as you're pulling it out, you want to squeeze the swab and remove as much of that liquid as possible, and that will go into the liquid. So we're going to do that now. I'm going to remove the swab while I'm squeezing the sides of the vial here. Okay, so I've removed the swab, and any secretions from the throat and the nasal cavities will be in this liquid here. And this is going to be this is going to go into here. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So you put your vial back into your holder, your tube stand, and you're going to take this dropper here. And the way you're going to do this is you're going to put the dropper, I'll show you first, there's a little filter on it. And it kind of, if you have like thick mucus, which I don't happen to have right now, that'll filter it out, and it'll only be the liquid that goes through. Again, it's not pleasant, but it is reality. So this goes on to here, and you just kind of push it in until it stops. And here you have your vial. You want to give it a little bit of a shake. And what you're going to want to do now is very simple. Here's your test device. There's a little hole right here. As you can see, this little hole right here. You're going to basically, once you put the nozzle on here, you're going to turn this upside down. And you're going to put 3 drops of liquid into this little hole here, this little well. So I'm going to do 3 drops, and just be, kind of, here, sorry about that. Be generous with your drops. So there's 1 going in. There's 2. And there's 3. Missed a little bit there. There we go. Yeah, it's normal if it splashes a bit. Again, you want to make sure when you're doing this that it's in a sterile environment. And that's why I put some paper towels here. Now look what's happening. The strip here, this is completely normal. It's going to turn purple. The whole thing is going to turn purple. And this is science at its best. Now the key is, from this moment on, you're going to wait 15 minutes for your results to come in. And like I said, this strip right here, it's completely normal what it's doing. It's going to be discolored. But after 15 minutes, this is the key. This is the most important thing. If you are positive for COVID, both lines are going to turn red or orange. And even, so basically you have your control line, which is the C, and your test line, which is the T. Control line is always going to be solid. It's always going to have a band across it. If it doesn't, it means the test was invalid and you have to redo it. But the C should always have a line. The T, which is the test, down here, if that has a line, even if it's very faint, that means you're still positive. Because sometimes you might not have a high viral load in your sample. So again, the main thing is that C, that control line, is always going to have a line on it. As you can see, it's starting already. And the T, that's what you want to keep an eye on. So we're going to wait 15 minutes. We're going to come back and see what the results are. Again, all this garbage here, you want to dispose of it in some kind of plastic bag. According to the government health guidelines, it's not considered bio-waste. But, be very careful with it. And, yeah, we'll come back in 15 minutes and we'll see what it says. All right, so it's been 15 minutes that have passed. And as you can see, our control line is pink or red, whatever you want to call it, which is perfectly fine. And in this case, the test line is colorless, and it's not even faint, which means, according to this test, it is negative. And I just want to show you something. It's very important. If you do zoom in and you look really closely, especially at a certain angle, you will notice that you can kind of see the strip on the T. Yeah, right there, you can kind of see there's a little white strip. That is not considered positive, and it's not considered a faint shade of pink or red. That's just the color of the actual strip itself. So don't be alarmed about that. And yeah, I just want to make a note as well that although these tests are very accurate, they're not 100% accurate, meaning they can give you a false negative, and a false negative is when you're actually positive, but it tells you you're negative. And if I'm not mistaken, it can also give you a false positive, which tells you you're positive, but you're actually negative. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you have any doubts, just isolate follow your public health guidelines, and do what you got to do. Get your vaccinations, and stay safe. But that's pretty much a basic rundown of how rapid response COVID-19 antigen test works. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. And again, if this is something that's not pleasant, it's not fun, but it is something that is reality right now. And if you have any doubts, talk to your healthcare professional. Yeah, so have a good day, everybody, and yeah, thank you all for watching. And when you're done with this, just dispose of it in a plastic bag and make sure it's sealed, and that's it. Thank you all for watching.